The Extraordinary Rendition of Janos Farkas. Chapter 33. They had driven all night and day, and the next night and day and night after that. Their bodies cramped in uncomfortable sleeping positions, their legs dulled by inactivity, their bladders pushed to the limits. Their only stops being those necessary: gas for the car, food for the body, a deserted spot to urinate. From Berlin they had flown to Ankara in Turkey, neither Gisela nor Turk wanting to enter Syria by the front door. In Ankara they bought a car and started the endless drive with the countless hours where repeated conversation turns to dust in the mouth, crossing the border from Şanlıurfa in Turkey into Aleppo in Syria. Now they were stopped, legs stretched. Damascus lay before them, the sight that the Prophet Muhammad had likened to paradise, averting his eyes, saying, "Paradise should only be entered once." Turk emerged from the phone booth outside the small cafe. He had a piece of paper in his hand. "Abdullah is not home," he said, "but my aunt says she'll make room at her place. It's only a few doors from his. I have the address. I'm tired, I'm dirty, I'm hungry, and I ache all over. I want a proper bed in a hotel," Line said. "An American hotel with clean sheets, room service, and a minibar. And I want it to be close to the American embassy. I want to find out what's happened to my husband. If my brother is here, he will not be in a hotel. He will not be having room service, and he will not be having clean sheets. He will be in Farfelsen prison. That is where Abdullah works. That is where we will find him," Gisela snapped. "Ein's right," Turk said. "She should be staying at a hotel. We don't want the embassy to know that she is staying with someone who works at the prison." "Afwan," he called in Arabic to a young man having coffee outside the cafe. "Hal takalam al Inglesia?" "Yes," the man replied, coming over. "I am studying English at the university. We are looking for a hotel for our friend, an American-style hotel." "The Four Seasons is there," the man said, pointing off into the haze of downtown Damascus, on Shukr al-Qadi Street, "but it is very expensive." "That's all right," Ein said. "Do you know if it's near the American embassy?" The man nodded. "You can walk to it from the hotel." "And this place," Turk said, handing him a piece of paper. "It is where my aunt lives. Do you know where that is?" "It is somewhere over there," the man answered, pointing to a higher part of the city, "on the other side of the Al-Muhajirin area, where the rich people live." "Is it hard to find?" "You will get lost, but not if you guide us." The man smiled. "No, I would get lost too. Not all of the streets over there have names, and not all of the buildings numbers. The best thing is to drive through the rich Al-Muhajirin area to the other side and ask someone who lives there. They will know. I can come with you if you want." Jabal sat in the front with Turk and gave them a running history of Damascus, the oldest continually inhabited city in the world, as they drove through the honking and the clanking and the clatter. And then all of that ceased, as they went from the poor crowded area up into an area of large buildings and villas. "This is Al-Muhajirin," Jabal said. "It is not good to pause too much here. Many senior members of the army and the Ba'ath Party live here, and they do not like to have people they do not know around. That is why you see soldiers on the streets." "And priests," Ein said, pointing to a solitary priest who was resting on a ledge, looking up at the houses. "Priests are not uncommon in Damascus," Jabal said. "More than 10% of our population is Christian, and much of the Bible's history took place around here. It is in the great Umayyad Mosque that there is a marble monument commemorating the burial place of the head of John the Baptist. And on top of the mosque, there is a minaret honoring Jesus. But this priest does not seem to be studying relics. He seems to be studying that villa," Ein said. As they went from the rich and into the poor again, they stopped the car and Jabal got out to talk to a boy. "The boy says the house is just over there." Does your aunt have a son named Abdullah? Turk nodded. Will the boy guide us? Jabal went back to the boy. When he returned, he shook his head. The boy does not like Abdullah. He says he is a guard at Far Philistin prison. Did you know that? Turk nodded. Immediately, there was a look of fear and distrust in Jabal's eyes. He backed away from the car and soon was gone from sight. Well, at least we know we have the right Abdullah, Turk said. But how will we find the house? Ayn asked. The next child will not have a chance to run, Turk replied. That's the end of chapter 33. Tomorrow, chapter 34.